Let's look at some common punctuation rules in English, and the first one, capitalization. We know capitals are required for the first letters of proper nouns, so words such as Sydney, Ross Edwards, July, all of these must have a capital at the start. First letters of individual titles, so if it's a director or the project manager, they should have the capital letters. First letters of institutions, government departments, so the Department of Education and Training, DET, must have the capitals there. First letters of a company are capitalized, so Microsoft or Ford Motor Company. First letter of qualifications, Diploma of Business, both the D and the B capitalized. Master of Commerce, again the M and the C capitalized. There is an exception. So capitals are not used in sentences where a title, organization or a company is not being identified. So if we just say the company has a partnership agreement, we don't say the company with a capital C, but if we say Microsoft company, then we do have the capital M because we're identifying that particular company. Full stops, well, full stops are required at the end of the sentence after initials, so J.M. Keynes, the full stop after J and after M. For abbreviations, so E.g. full stop, E.T.C. full stop, N.B. full stop. Notice that full stops are not used after salutation. So Mr. Klein, a lot of people make the mistake by putting the full stop after Mr. But in Australia we don't do that. So in Australia there should not be a full stop after Mr. or Mrs. or Doctor or any salutation. However, in the United States, well, yes you do. You have the Mr. then full stop. Let's talk about commas. They are required between introductory words or phrases and the subject. So in this example sentence we have thirdly, which is this little phrase, or a little introductory word. It's introducing, it's signposting the language. So thirdly, comma, the issue of company finances needs to be considered. So we must have it there. Between a main and a supporting idea. So although company staff have technical backgrounds, comma, they do not have the precise NDT knowledge. So we've got the main idea, which is the first part of the sentence, and then the supporting idea, they don't have that knowledge, is the supporting idea. So we're breaking it in two halves and we're using a comma. Notice that in the first half of the sentence we have a verb, have, and we also have a verb in the second half, they do not have. So we know that they're two ideas, two separate ideas, because they both have a verb in them. For a sentence which shows symmetrical contrast, so the greater the cost, the higher the risk. So we're getting that sort of symmetry with those two. To separate items in a list, staff need training in sales techniques, comma, technical skills and report writing. So we've got that comma there after that first item in the list. In terms of semicolons, semicolons are required to link independent clauses. For example, some directors want to outsource training, other directors want to conduct training in-house. So we've got these closely related ideas and we're going to separate them with a semicolon. Kind of creates that relationship between the two clauses. To separate items in a list if any of the items contain commas or multiple words. So members of the board include Jim Johnson, comma, President, and then your semicolon, Tony Allen, comma, Vice President, semicolon, and Lee Jeffson, Department Manager. So there are multiple words and there's actually other punctuation which happens to be commas in this list. So to make it really clear, we just have the semicolon because that really sort of breaks it into separate ideas. If we're talking about connector words such as however or nevertheless or moreover, we can have the semicolon. So let's have a look. The growth opportunities are great, semicolon. However, comma, the risks are substantial. So we're creating that break in the sentence with a semicolon. Some people might choose to have a full stop, such as the growth opportunities are great, full stop. However, comma, the risks are substantial. But that would sound a bit choppy. That would be an example of a choppy sentence, which is not recommended. So it's good to use the semicolon there. The colons are used to add one or more directly related ideas. For example, the company has short and longer term growth opportunities as follows. First one, second one, third one. So we're separating this list by using, we're starting the list, we need a colon to do that. Second one, training is needed to cover 3 important methods of NDT, colon. There we go, 2 words, ultrasonic testing. Because we've got 2 words together, we need to break it with a semicolon, eddy current testing, semicolon, and radiography. Apostrophes. Apostrophes are required to indicate that a letter or letters have been dropped from a word. So it doesn't. We use the apostrophe to show that the O is not there, or haven't, there's no O, or it is. We replace the I with an apostrophe. Or to indicate ownership or possession. The company's growth is being carefully planned. So the company's apostrophe S, or a day's pay, it's the ownership. However, when ownership or possession belongs to it, the apostrophe is not used. Its results are encouraging, correct, or its method is successful, is incorrect. So when it belongs to the it, we don't have the apostrophe.